There is a very prevalent idea in the so-called spiritual path that we have to get rid of negative behaviors. What if you don't have to actually get rid of negative behaviors, and the mere idea that you have to get rid of them is actually what's reinforcing them? In this video, I want to cover how it is absolutely unnecessary to try to get rid of behaviors that we call them negative because they're not consonant with how and who we are. And we know that. But first, we need to understand what do we mean by negative behaviors, and then understand why do we want to get rid of them, and why then we don't have to get rid of them, which is really the question that I'm posing here. First, negative behaviors are something that we all know that are not congruent with our being. They feel as if they were false. They were not who we truly are. Very simple example is when we react to something emotionally and then we say, "Forgive me, I wasn't being myself." Right? We know that we are not that, and yet we continue to have those. And inwardly, we know that there are these thought patterns that continue to tell us things that we are not. Right? So all of these behaviors, subtle as thoughts and grows as reactions, emotional reactions to other people, we know that they're not consonant with ourselves. Now the problem is that we hear, you have to get rid of them, you have to resolve them, and so on. But this is an inefficient approach because it gives the self an idea to do, and also that it's wrong to be the way it is. What if you don't have to get rid of them, but actually understand them? How could you possibly understand them if not from a place of clarity? Where is that place of clarity? So here's my suggestion. Instead of trying to get rid of them, think about the following analogy. Can you get rid of a lie that was told to you without clarity? If somebody tells you the sun revolving around the earth is a lie, and you look at the evidence and you say, "No, I don't believe so. I have no evidence." How could you get rid of that lie if you have no evidence that the sun is not revolving around the earth? So you never get rid of a lie. How could you possibly get rid of behaviors that are coming from a false sense of being, a lie as well? You have to expose the lie. You have to find the evidence that the sun is not revolving around the earth, but actually the other way around. No pun intended. So you have to find always clarity beyond the lie. And if we don't find it, what will happen is that the mind will create substitution of behaviors for a while, and it would feel like it's making progress. But then, because there are convincing patterns that move us to act and react in certain ways, and also to reflect and think about ourselves in certain ways, they will come and activate again the same idea. And so we will feel, I'm not progressing, I failed again, my emotions took over again, right? So what is it truly happening? Is it that you're failing at substituting the patterns? Or maybe you're just failing at seeing the clarity behind it. Here, we only become interested in one single question, which is really what gives clarity to everything else. Who am I? If I am the one having the behavior, then I should really investigate who is it that is having the behavior. So we pose the question, which brings to self-inquiry, meaning, who am I? Or as I like to say, what do I mean when I say I? Take this moment and ask that question. Who is it the one that is watching this video? Pause it if necessary. And wonder, if I am what the mind is saying right now, because the mind will produce some thoughts, some ideas. I am this being, I am infinite, I am consciousness. Depending on your level of instruction at this point, your mind will produce an answer. I want you to see every single answer that is produced by the mind as if you were to ask me the question and I am your mind. And you tell me, who am I, Gabriel? Now imagine that you're here with me and I say, well, I take a picture of you and I say, this is you. And you say, yes, that seems like an image of me. But I'm not that image. I'm still here. And the image is there. Same with the thought. A thought appears and says, I am human, I am soul, I am God, I am spirit, I am mortal. Those are simply snapshots in the moment of what the mind sees. Just like a snapshot of you is what I capture with my camera. Answers may come up more complex. A story may develop. I am somebody who was born and has had this story and had this wife or husband or whatever story it's created and weaved. That would be equivalent to me grabbing my camera and now recording a video. And then showing you, when you ask me the question, who am I? And I say, this is you. And you say, yes, that's my story, but that's not me. That's still not me. Who really am I? Keep asking the question and allow the mind to produce pictures, videos, and always see them as insufficient evidence of who you are. And yet, you are the one witnessing it. Every single one of the answers. Just like you are the one witnessing my pictures and my videos of you. You always remain. All proof of you is limited. Continue to explore this in your direct experience. Don't make this into a concept, an idea, or something else. Explore it in your direct experience. Notice it now. Who am I? I am that which knows whatever experience is happening. And if you continue to simply contemplate that which is always knowing the experience, that which you are, as we can call it awareness, because that which knows is aware of things, but more intimately is called you or I. And beyond the word awareness, there is a felt evidence of being. Notice that that's what you are, and stay there. Forget about getting rid of anything. Stay with that. Don't move into using self-knowledge to get rid of emotions, using self-realization to improve my being. Forget about all of that. Give your mind the rest that it wants by simply sinking into being. This is the one truth. This is the only thing that is clear in yourself. Everything else is unclear because it's just an image. It's just a thought, a picture or a video of reality and you, but never fully you. You are this presence. This is not an advanced technique. This is not some deep realization. It is the most evident realization that can possibly happen. It doesn't happen over time. It happens now. Always and forever now. Stay with that realization. Let thoughts come in and go. Notice how impermanent they are, and yet you remain. Like me showing a series of pictures to you about you. And as clear as they may be, high resolution as they may be, they're still not you. You are the one always witnessing the pictures and the videos. Now, How does this apply to behaviors, negative behaviors, which we know inherently, intuitively, that they're not the right behaviors of our being? Realize that all of these behaviors were cultivated on the idea that you were that image. That image, that video that I showed you, is what we call proof of being a separate being, thus creating the amalgam that we call ego, and our behaviors are based on that. But the moment you expose the lie into the true light of awareness, the lie being you as a separate being, the more you allow this light of being, this understanding of you as pure awareness, be what takes place more and more in your life, then naturally those behaviors, they're just going to be incongruent. And if they do react naturally, they only become a contrast for us to begin to see more and more how that's not what we are, but this is what we are. That was just a conditioned reaction. You see, we're not trying to get rid of them, we're trying to understand them for what they are. Conditioned reactions based on a false identity. And I only know that it's a false identity because I know the real, true identity, which is me. The always and ever-present self that is never captured in a picture or a video. So again, there's so much to continue to unpack, and that's what this channel is about. It's about unpacking one simple and single question that we need to contemplate, which is, who am I? And staying with that. And the implications of the constant contemplation of this investigation, of this inquiry into the self, is all that is needed for everything else that we hear in the so-called spiritual path, which is just simply self-knowledge and being yourself, being your authentic and spontaneous self. That's all I got for this video. I hope it's helpful. We'd love to see what comments or opinions you have about this in your direct experience, in your meditation practice, and I'll see you in the next video.